Good morning, optimists. Welcome back to the show. Today is Wednesday, July 26th, 2023. And we got an FOMC meeting going on today and a few other things. You know what's missing? I don't got no music. Let's start mid track on this track. Lord. All right. I'll get the music up there in just a moment. Today we've got new home sales. We got the FOMC decision on rates, and we've got a Powell speech at 11:30, 2:30 market time. Yesterday we had the S&P Case-Shiller home price index. Shows that home prices are up for the fourth straight month in May. Rust Belt cities led home prices. But there is a lot of markets. If you've been following some of the markets that have been cropping up, there's a lot of markets that are not doing well. Consumer confidence climbs to a 2-year high as worries over inflation and recession ease. I disagree with that. I don't think that that's real. That seems kind of fuddish to me. What's up, Kevin? I think if people are easing their tensions about inflation and whatnot, it's rather a laissez-faire attitude on the whole entire situation. Because if you actually look at rent prices versus home prices, the amount of inventory that's showing up for sale on the home market, as well as the amount of open rentals, there's a lot of open rentals right now in the market that are asking well above what the market can bear. And I think that at some point in the nearest future, with between now and the next year and a half, that we're going to see a pretty large decline in home prices as well as rent prices. It's hard for you to work during summer. You're getting a lot of rain. Well, hopefully all the rain is necessary for your area. Yeah, too expensive to live. That's why I question the consumer confidence reports and question the like the Case-Shiller stuff. Although the Case-Shiller stuff is just kind of raw data, but the consumer confidence report is I don't know. I question whether or not people feel like they're being relaxed at this point. And if they are, y'all better step up your game because it's about to be crunch time. Over the next year and a half, man, you better get your hustle on. Like hustle, hustle, hustle. You know what I mean? Gavin, I'm sorry it's been hard for you to work, man. But like I said, yeah, I do hope that the area you're in needs that rain if it's getting a lot of it. Yeah, like the Pacific Northwest absolutely does need a lot of rain because we have a lot of evergreen trees, like a ton, and if they don't get consistent precipitation, they dry out pretty fast, and then they just become this like matchstick. And then if it gets hot out and it gets windy, then it blows off. You start seeing forest fires, and the forest fires here are horrendous. Like they're in the Pacific Northwest, they're bad. So we could stand with some rain ourselves. Let's go ahead and jump on in to yield chart, which looks like it's been kind of going sideways on the ES. And I think that this might be the case for a lot of the day until we get the FOMC decision. Very sideways. Wow, I don't even know if I could trade this. Oh, you know what? I never jumped into Bookmaps. I know why too, because I had left it open yesterday. So when I got here, I shut it down. As I usually try to shut TOS down if I leave it overnight, because for whatever reason I get like a lag in data if I don't have a fresh opening for the day. So I'm just gonna not share my screen while I do my password login stuff. What was up with the new home sales, by the way? Oh, that's today. Today we don't have that data. So that data came out at 7, half an hour ago. I don't have a link for it yet. The estimated is a drop. So the previous was 763. The forecast is 725,000 new home sales. But yeah, I think that home sales have, or I should say home prices. Home prices, I think, have about up to a 20% drop available to them over the next year and a half. Could be more, could be less, but home prices went up over 50% during the pandemic. So I think that if you picture it like a chart, and that chart is hitting new highs every day for 2 years straight, it's gonna start looking pretty frothy to you. You're gonna be like, I don't know if I should be buying high up here. I should be looking for a short. Okay, so check for free. Okay, let's get the screen back up. So bookmaps loading in. I think the FOMC meeting will bring a lot of the volatility of the day. Zooming out, you can kind of see that there's a lot of bull support and resistance levels up here. 90 is still going to be pretty heavy resistance. 80s is still probably going to focus on heavy support. 85 looking like the support zone. And 90 looking like the resistance zone. You're going to drop right now. But yeah, this might be kind of challenging to trade just because it's so sideways. Our low down there is at 83.75. Where's the high? Highs all the way up at 46.06. I guess so. That's what happened yesterday, huh? I didn't trade the rest of the day. I spent the whole rest of the day working. I might look for a red to yellow here on the 1 minute side. Sometimes it's a good play, sometimes it's not. I'm going to reduce my size, though, because of the sideways range today. So, slow grinding today, I imagine. But I don't think it's a good idea for me to take the normal 3 contract size, not with this sideways range. We won't have that. I think the FOMC decision's at 11:30. I know the Powell thing's at 11:30. FOMC is at 11, and then Powell press conference is at 11:30. So expect volatility in the afternoon. Kevin, how's your trading been coming? I hope it's been doing well. If you haven't been able to spend much time at work, I hope your trading's been progressing. By the way, Kevin, I think that's one of the few times you've had a different comment. So I'm grateful to have you here, man. See if we find support here at 85. No trade right now. This looks like a sit on my hands kind of day. What's the NQ doing? Same. Sideways. Everything's probably going to be sideways till the FOMC meeting. Keep saying FOMC meeting, but what I really mean to say is the FOMC rate decision, followed by the Powell speech. $85, $86 seems like pretty reasonable support here. You see there's two support levels down there. One at 85, one at 84. And we're below the VWAP, which happens to be up around 87. Like I said, no trade right now. None that I see, anyway. Thought about buying this low, but I'm like, man, if that thing drops, then it's done. Wow. Like hyper slow. What's the volume at? Volume is also pretty low. Average is 1,700 contracts. We got whole minutes that are like under 1,000 contracts. That's ridiculous low. So as far as the crossover goes, this looks like a short right here. I don't know if we're gonna get any trades today. Is the oil doing anything? What was the current? I think U was expiring. Oil's moving. This has move potential. I'm gonna close all these NAS ones. I don't really like trading the NAS anyway. I stopped trading oil because I kept losing money on it. But today it kind of looks like the only option. At least until later. That was a nice move there, that little bounce. Oil's got its high up here at 79.60. It's currently down on the day, about 30 cents. A little sketchy to go long on it at the moment. First off, because it's down on the day, but second off, because it's running a resistance along the 200 moving average. There's a nice pop there, off of 28 up to 33, 5 cent pop there. I'm gonna wait for a nice setup. So when this fell all the way to below the VWAP, which is right around 79, 79.05-ish, and bounced up to 79.20, 79.30s, well, up to 35 really. How solid has this been on red yellow? So. Just trying to wait for the right move. Doesn't look like the 50 moving average is going up anytime soon. It's currently here at 79.29. And the 200 is at 79.36. It's looking a little better. Trying to bid here in 3 contracts at 31 and immediately getting a drop. I'm looking for a push up at 35, which would be another push up towards the 200 moving average. I took this base off the TTM, and I kind of wish I didn't. I should have waited for the moving average crossovers. Yeah, I need to cut this. I'll put that at 32. Ooh, big drop. And big push right back up. Damn. It's still looking like an upward push, but I don't like that rejection right there, that little stall out. Damn. Big drop back down. I think I was just anxious to get into a trade. I was worried about that. Yeah, this ain't looking good. I'm gonna cut this before it grows any bigger.
Order filled.
Cut it at the bottom. Loss of 370 on that one. Ouch. So I took that base off the TTM, and I absolutely should not have. I should have waited for my full setup with the moving average crossovers. It's just kind of challenging when you're waiting here all day. And that was why I stopped trading oil, was that. It had a lot to do with that. But oil looked like the only thing that was moving, so. Dry season's supposed to start in October. Weird. dry season, I get more news, interviews done at my workplace. My 19th year. Citrus Connection. That's awesome, man. I had no idea you did any of that. That's super cool. In 19 years there, that's also awesome too. That's too bad, man. We bottom filled this. $31 to $19. Yikes. 12 cents. That's a lot. Now it starts to pop. That's what I was looking for on this one. I'll wait for the 5200 cross. A lot of resistance up there at 35 though. And up at 50. ES not going anywhere either. I kind of wish I didn't take that trade. Well, I mean, obviously, you know, everyone wishes that they don't take losses, but I think I took a boredom trade, man. I try to never do that. Counts up at 883. Or 883.98. Oil's the only thing moving though. Oil is getting a 1 minute TCM candle. So this actually could pop. Let's get a 9/12/26 on the 1 minute side too. I'll take a small position. I gotta find the right entry. I don't think I can trust this without the crossovers either. Yeah, I can't. Wow, slow day. Shouldn't have tried to trade on that. This is like just it. I think, like I said, I really just took a boredom trade. No trades for me yet. I have no concentration. That's actually the problem. I have like too much concentration this morning. I might have to just end the stream, come back in the afternoon. There's nothing to trade. I mean, there's just nothing to trade. I really think oil is going to have a push here, but it seemingly is just going straight sideways. Nowhere else. 28 and 33. 5 cents diverge. Anytime it looks like it's about to push, it gets suppressed. So it's not really worth it. I think I'm gonna have to fight back during the day, like during the power hour. Big drop on oil. Close all these out. ES getting a little push. Only like 3 ticks. It's not like anything to write home about. I'm just gonna stay dialed into the ES for the day, even though it's sideways and slow too. Previous close on Monday is resistance. What is that number for Monday then? I don't have those indicators. Book maps to be showing plenty of support down here, not a lot of resistance, but there's just not the volatility necessary to make moves. There's seemingly plenty of volume, but not volatility. We'll see what happens when we get up to 8 o'clock. About 5 minutes. It's kind of down here at the lows. 83 and a quarter low. Day's looking bearish too. Slow grind to the bottom. I don't know, but that's... Yeah. I guess that's just the day, man. You manually drop the previous close every day. 45.85. Well, it took one trade and lost 370. It's pretty bad. This is bottoming out again. Hitting new lows. Not a lot to prop it up either. You see that these were already pulled. So I think this is spoofing right here. You see right before it dropped, all these contracts were removed. But this entire time they were all here. So yeah, it means we got room down to 80. I'm gonna wait past 8 o'clock, but I can tell you that these like last 3 minutes have felt like an eternity. They're just totally dialed in on the ES. I think the ES is gonna be the thing to watch today too. Anyway. Oil never got that pop. Just stay where it was. Like I said, I thought we had room down to about 80. We dropped to 81. Where it did find some support. Wow, that's only been 1 minute? I don't know. I think my brain's going too fast for this market. Well, I said room down to 80. Let's see what happens. So far, 81 is holding. Barely. Are the seconds slower? Like, do we go into a different reality where the seconds move slower or something? Or nice job. Yeah, I considered taking it, but I was like, I don't know. It's just too close to the bottom. $80.75 is the lowest that it's hit. Finally got to 80.5. Like I said, 80 was what I thought the line in the sand would be. Like as low as it would go. I don't know if it'll go below 80. 80.5 seems to be the lowest. It's really waiting for about like 803, 804. See if we get a bounce or something. But I don't think anything's going to be happening until the FOMC. I can't believe I lost 370 on that trade. What up, origin code? Yeah, bro, this is... My wife says I live on Flash time. Like, which if you've ever watched Flash or read any of the comic books or anything like that, essentially, like, everything that he thinks and does just operates, like, way too quickly for the world around him. My wife says I'm on Flash time all the time. And she's not wrong, because a lot of the times I'm like, I spend the vast majority of my life waiting, it would feel. Because a lot of the time I just feel like I'm just on go and go and go, and the world doesn't operate that quickly. The world moves very slowly. And then when it gets itself in a hurry, it all of a sudden moves very fast. It's really weird. So I don't know. But today I feel like I'm watching paint dry, watching the market. Hey, so we did bounce off of 80 area. This is what I was hoping would happen. Because they got a long way to go for this to look like a good trade. And I'm trading small because of how tiny the market is. Although I did take a large loss on oil, which was, in my opinion, kind of dumb. Definitely a boredom trade. Okay, we're getting a push back up now. I'll take a feeler position here at 82.50 if we get a fill. I don't really want to increase my buy order though. My hope is that it'll come down to fill it. Nope, nothing. So I'll take that order off. I was hoping that this candle would have pulled back to the 9 and then bounce off of that, but it didn't look that way. It still looks like a good trade. Try another entry at 83.50
Order filled.
or 83 and try and get out of 83.75. So let's see if we push to 84. But we immediately got a cooling candle the moment I got filled, so so we've been looking for a push towards 84. I'm gonna grab another one at 82.50 if it fills.
Order filled.
Putting both those sell orders at 83.75. So I'm in 2 contracts. And average is 82.75 on the 2 of them. Only down 75 bucks in the trade. And it's kind of pulling back a little bit. Not a ton of support or resistance. I don't like this pullback though. I was hoping for a push up to test this 200 moving average. But it looks like as far as the moving averages go, they're kind of switching over into bearish side. We're gonna need the TTM to fill back up. And the moving average crossovers to get back above the 50 exponential. Still leaving the sell order at 83.75 at the moment. I think it seems kind of like a value area. Unless we get a big drop, which I really hope that we don't, I think that people will kind of buy this up because we're so close to the lows. So my hope is that we get this bounce towards this crossover to the upside, and really just that we get a moving average crossover to the upside. But we're starting to get some movement in the market, not much, but some, and I hope that people take advantage of that. I hope that traders decide to take advantage of that. And then we get a push up towards the VWAP would be ideal. Not a lot of info on book maps right now. A lot of orders chilling at 80, but I almost feel inclined to pick up one more contract off of like 82. I'll do it.
Order filled.
So that entry was at 82. So I got one at 82, one at 82.50, and one at 83 for an average of 82.50. And I'm trying to get out at 83.75, which would be about 187.50 in profit if we get that push. So we only need to get through about 1,000 contracts.
Order filled.
There we go. So it's nice to get a green trade after that 370 loss. So it puts us down 191, but 191 is not bad. I'm gonna start increasing my size. It was a very nice push. So can we push through the VWAP? That's the next question. But it does look like we're about to get a moving average crossover. I do have pretty decent hopes for this. I'm gonna go for like 5 ticks. Entry looking for 83.75 on the entry. I'm going to remove this order, and it might pop, but I'm going to remove that order, and I'm going to wait till the crossovers get a little bit more closer. However, and the reason for that is that in case this pulls back to like the EMA 35, like around to like 83 or something like that, if we get a pullback to like 83, I'm on it. I'm going to take that buy, because I think that it's inevitable that we're going to get this crossover here, unless something changes and we get slammed down in terms of pricing. But you can see a lot of orders sitting there at 82.25. About 700 contracts, almost 650 contracts at 82.75. So I'll put an order at maybe 83. Considering putting an order chilling at 83, which would be like a 3-tick drop and then looking for the pop off that. Got a standing order at 83.25. I feel nervous. Never got filled anyway. 84.25 is this this little line in the sand here. The moment there was the pop. I'm just gonna try to get in.
Order filled.
In at 84.25. I really wanted to be in at 83.25. And I tried to grab it, but just wasn't there. Trying to get out at 85.50. We got VWAP up here at 86.50. Bookmaps puts VWAP at 84.75. So I'm looking for this crossover here and a surge up towards the VWAP. I want to see a rip through 85 up to 86, 87. 83.50 should have been the number, not 83.25. So I should have just bought off 83.50. See this buy volume rip up. Having trouble with 84.75. About to get that moving average crossover there. I wonder if I should push up to like 86 or 86.25 or something. Zoom out a little bit. $85.50 has a reasonable amount of orders on it, and $86.50 has a few orders on it too. There's a big buy thing there. I kind of feel like I should push to 86, but I also would rather secure profits. If we get this 85.50, then we should be back close at break even. More pullback than I wanted to see on that. I see. We're running into the 20-second 200 moving average. Pull back now to 83.50, which originally should have been my entry. And immediate bounce off that, which is good. That immediately bounced from 83.50 to 84.50. Resistance at 85.50 and 87.75. A lot of orders chilling at those zones. Need to see yellow on the TTM. I don't mind our entry point though. But man, I wish I could have grabbed that one. Nice pullback consolidation there. And we'll see if we get this red yellow. We need like 2 or 3, probably 3 yellows and a switch, a cyan switch. $84.75 hitting some resistance. Gonna check in with y'all. Check it back. There's 84 or 85. Cyan switch there. 9 and 12 are in the right position, but the 26, we need more divergence on that. I need the 26 to be going down while the rest are going up. Let's check the 20-second chart, see what we got going on. So our sell order is right at that 200 moving average on the 20-second chart and at the top of the Bollinger Band. 85 is a pretty strong line. But I think that we're going to rip up to like 87. We're very close to the sell order. Second crossover inbound as well. Man, I might just cut this at 85.25, dude. Like I said, I think that we're going to pop up to like 87, but it's just a matter of like locking in profits.
Order filled.
All right, we got it. Whew. Almost back to flat. So we earned close to $400 back after losing 370 and immediately dropped right after filling. Look at that drop. Wow. Falling all the way back to 84 and a quarter or so. So we lost 360 on our first trade. Plus fees. So it ended up being 371.01 was the loss on that one. And we made back 375. Factor in the fees, we're only down $13. Basically back to flat. And we're getting a pullback now, but I don't think this pullback is going to last that long. Instead, what I think is actually going to take place is that we'll likely get this crossover on the 20-second chart. And that will push up towards the VWAP of 85, 75, 86 area. Let's check this on some of the longer time frames. 1 minute side. I'm kind of glad I piled into this position. 1 minute side here. We're getting a cooling candle. And we're riding along the EMA 50 moving average. So if I'm looking at the 1 minute, I'm going to want to see the 9 EMA, the yellow, and the 12, both of those get above the 50, the green line here. So I'm going to want to see that. Secondly, I'm definitely going to want to see the 9 and 12 get above the 200 moving average. But I don't think that's going to be for a while. Because these are $2.20 apart. And more likely, they're only going to close the gap by a few cents each minute. We can find out now. 220 right now. And then 218 apart now. So about 2 cents each. So if we're thinking about 2 cents per minute, is that right? 109 minutes? That's a long time. I guess that makes sense because it'd be 50 minutes for an hour at 2 cents. Huh. Well, that's definitely a ways out if that is correct. Does look like we got some pretty solid support looking there at around 82-ish area. Yeah, that I actually like top ticked that. I was pretty proud of that, but also at the same time I'm like, ooh, that was a sketchy trade. Like top ticking, as much as it's awesome, it's not a strategy. At least not for my own self. I would not consider it a strategy. Um, huh. I actually prefer to get out before the top tick, like right before, like one tick before. It's kind of more ideal for me for my own heart. uh, yeah, hypersensitive for sure, man. Like uh, that's actually one of the reasons why I think that's one of the reasons why I'm introverted. You might not see it from the channel and just from what I put out there, but I be I how do I put it? I was very introverted as a child, but then I learned to be extroverted going through sales and marketing and whatnot. And I actually there's a lot of extroversion that I like. I'm very much an omnivert in a lot of ways, but I draw most of my energy being alone. Um, or being with my wife, who is also a very introverted person. Do I have ADHD? Everybody in the world has ADHD, in my own personal opinion, and I believe ADHD is a trained condition. I'm going to say that again. I believe ADHD is a trained condition. I definitely wouldn't say that I'm always bored. I actually end up in my own like the headspace of my own mind a lot of the time, and so I definitely would not say that I'm bored because boredom implies that I want to get out of my head. And a lot of the times I'm just trying to stay in my head and just go in my head and stay. I can stay in my head for days, like weeks probably, if given the opportunity. And I love it in there because I have a whole paradise inside my mind, inside my brain. So yeah, I don't mind being in my head at all. So I definitely wouldn't say bored. 'Cause I've always got my mind is always constantly working, even in my sleep. What I mean by that, and this is typically a really difficult thing to explain to a lot of people, but in my sleep, I have thoughts, and um, when I wake up, I can remember those thoughts. I often solve problems in my sleep, and when I wake up in the morning, and that's like a natural thing. Most people do this, but they do it subconsciously. I can actually think in my sleep. I can change dreams in my sleep. If I'm in the middle of a dream and I don't like it, I can alter it, or I can choose to wake up, or I can choose to go back to sleep and continue to experience it. Um, so I don't, I don't know what that is, but I've had it for most of my life. The ability um, think thoughts actively in my sleep. It's funny, 8550, that your previous close was my exact exit, and that was the rejection point. What up? Good to see you, Ollie. I'm just catching up on all these. Not at all a strategy. Uh, yeah, like these are all things, but ADHD, because I personally, my own belief is that ADHD is a trained condition. These things train you to have ADHD. Um, the internet, in a very large capacity, trains a person to have ADHD. TV programming trains a person to have ADHD. All of these things train people to have ADHD. At least that's my opinion. And um, they would have us often we are told that we have a chemical imbalance and all these other things. If there is a chemical imbalance, it likely is related to diet, not because your brain is broken. The fact is, in my own personal opinion, I believe that the brain is just immensely amazing. It can solve anything. It can heal anything. Um, brains are brains are awesome. We're coming up on that 20-second crossover. We are getting some pull back up. So this pulled down to exactly 82, which was the area that we talked about. But those are my thoughts on ADHD. And I think that way about ADHD because I've met a lot of people in my life who have who've told me they couldn't do something because they had ADHD. And I look at my own self and I'm like, I've dealt with everything that you've described and I've dealt with it personally. And aside from that, I've also dealt with my own brain injury. I've dealt with being ill for the vast majority of my life, living in hospitals sometimes for weeks on end. And so it's just, I believe that everything comes down to our mind and our attitude. I think the vast majority of things, and I believe people put a ton of stock into their belief systems. BS. I believe people put a ton of stock into their belief systems, and rarely do they question it and question, how can I be different? Or if I think this way or feel this way, what can I do to change? And that's what Atomic, like, if you really want change, read Atomic Habits. Like, this book will change a ton of different stuff. If you've never thought about it before, or if you've never actively gone through the reflection process inside of your own brain to discover the root cause of all of the issues that are manifesting as patterns of behavior in your own life, read Atomic Habits, because this particular book will knock that crap out of you within the first 2 chapters. And it will get you to start questioning reality very fast. I absolutely love this book, and I love the writing and the pacing of the book as well. It's not a boring book, which is a challenge for any writer to do, any author. It's very challenging to not create a boring piece of content and for readers to just look for the information. This thing has me captivated, on the edge of my seat. I can't wait to get to the next page. Very few books can do that for me. So we got this this pop here with this little 5200 cross, but it did pull back some, and it's really pulling back off the 200 moving average on the 20-second chart, which is very close to a 5200 crossover. I think the 20-second one is going to look a lot more enticing to traders, and I think that for sure this 1 minute one's going to look really good. But I think that the 1 minute one is going to be the move that's going to have the power that we're really after. Just gonna catch up on these comments. Used to figure out and review trades in my sleep. Nice. Yeah, that's actually pretty awesome. Blew my mind that could be done. Yeah, thinking in your sleep, solving problems in your sleep, reflecting in your sleep. This stuff it's mind altering. But I've had so much lucid sleep in my life, and I don't know. Could be because I've been in a lot of induced comas. But every one of those comas, save for like maybe 1 or 2, there's still thoughts going on in your brain. Like, there's still stuff happening in your brain. There's still, you can still feel your heart, and you can still feel your energy, and you're deeply in tune with your emotional and intuitive self. It's like the mind, body, and soul become one in those times, and there's no miscommunication between the gut and the brain and the heart, mind, body, and soul. All of it, there's no communication. It's like all three become one, and it's just very a fascinating experience. So Tiny, this is a belief system thing that I would dare you to challenge. That your dreams inspire you, but the world makes sure that they don't come true. I think that may be a belief system. I would dare you, I would challenge you to attempt to challenge this thought process. All things in my own personal belief is that all that we experience is a is to a very large degree a reflection of our inner selves. If that makes sense. So it did hold the 50. This is a good sign. So it did hold 84 off this 50 moving average. Let's see if we can get a pullback to the 200 moving average. So around 84.50. Let's check both maps. There's actually not a lot of order support, but there is a lot of buyers here, and I think that they'll push this up to 86. You know, double top there at 85.50. I want to take it, but it's also at the top of this Bollinger Band. And there's just no support down here at the bottom. You see there's hardly any orders showing here. The book was flipped on buy side there for a second. 87 is where the biggest resistance is at the moment. And which makes sense because that's the VWAP. You need about 1,500 contracts to bust up to 87. Here's this moving average crossover right there. I'm waiting. More interested in the conversation than I am in the charts right now. Plus physical abuse as a kid stunted me a bit. But yeah, the brain is wonderful. It can make new connections. Physical abuse as well. I went through that as well. And you know, it's like the process of letting go is also a process. You have to let go in order to grow. I don't know if you've ever heard that before. Not gonna break my stride. Ain't nothing gonna hold me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. What's the title again? It's in the background. It's Atomic Habits. That one right there. Psychology of Money is also really good. It's reasonably written. It's not as fun as Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits will just be really. It's a fun ass read. I love it. Not sure if we covered already, but the Fed rates today at 2. Yeah, we talked about that, Ollie. Yeah, be ready. That's exactly what I was saying too. Lots of chop, little, and we also have very little price action too. I'm pretty sure 87 is going to be that line in the sand, which is the VWAP. This crossover did take place, but it's just not nearly as clean as those other two trades that we took. Although this was a very long trade to sit through, and I guess even this itself was a pretty long trade as well. This started at 804 and went to 809. That was 5 minutes. It's not that long. This one started at 812 and ran to 828. So that one was longer. We missed this one. And then this push just feels too gradual for me. So right now it's just slow. But it was nice to get back to break even. We're close to. Yeah, and Tiny, if you don't want to buy the book, you could probably rent it, or not rent it, but borrow it from a library. You can get a physical copy, or you can use Libby, which is a free app that connects to libraries in the Pacific Northwest and I think nationwide. But you just put in your library card, and then you can borrow books digitally on your phone. Um, so that's another free way to get access to the information. So this looks like it's actually pushing up on the top of the band. Here's this push up to 87. I hit 86.75 and push back down. I like this song. I think this, what's the name of this artist? I think it's Osoku. And the song's called Anatsuri. 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 I'm trying to remember Japanese class. I remember all the the sounds that it would make. Like there's only some basic sounds, and then you add different consonants on top of it. Like they're in Japanese, like a, I, u, e, o, and then it's like a, I, u, e, o, sashi, suseso, and like it adds additional sounds. Anyway, I'm a language nerd. At times. I've been struggling to retain information about new languages though over the last ever since the brain injury, honestly. We're needing that push up to 87. So we're above the 200 moving average and in between the 200 and the Bollinger Band. I know a lot of traders use the Bollinger Bands, and so it can be really good in terms of understanding price action. So we got some resistance at 87.50, heavy resistance at 90. I don't know if we're going to get the type of momentum that we want to see until the FOMC meeting. Or I should say, keep saying FOMC meeting. It is the rate numbers and then a Jay Powell speech. So this trade did end up pushing from like 84 to 87. So there was definitely opportunity in that from this crossover back here from like 85 to 87. Just a slow grind kind of up. Above the view app. Trying to keep up with all the comments, man. Let's see. Nice job on the 2 ticks. This happened to me a bunch yesterday and Monday as well. Always, Tiny. Any way I can help. Progress is the key, not perfection. I want to take a move, but the slow, grindy nature of it kind of just it makes me not really want to, because I guess I'm worried about that there's just going to be a contract jump at some point. I might just have to be happy with break even and come back in the afternoon. I'm just grateful we didn't end the day down 370. Loss of $13 I can live with. I'm not going to give it a second thought. It does look like we're on approach for this crossover, though. It's about $1.30 away. Let's see what's up with the 3 and the 5. 3-minute has view up at 88.25. Heavy resistance at 90. So I'd be very, very cautious around 90. 3-minute though has this 9-12-26 crossover TCM build. What's up with the 5? 5-minute is working on a cyan switch. Running into resistance at the 50 EMA on the 5 versus the VWAP on the 1. And 1.6 on the TTM here. So I think 9:30, about 45 minutes from now, will likely be a nice big breakout zone. Maybe even like 20, 25 minutes from now. Yeah, exactly, man. Green is green. And red $13, but you know, it's not red 370, you know what I'm saying? This 8750 area is kind of holding up markets, holding up as resistance. It looks like it's getting bought up though. More and more contracts keep coming in at 8750. Every time it looks like it's about to break, more contracts come in. Honestly, a pullback to about 85 or 85.25 or so, I think would actually look healthy. We double topped up here. I'm looking for rejection then off the VWAP. Not a heavy rejection, but just one down to like 85, and then consolidation, and then a rip through the VWAP would actually be, in my opinion, a better setup. That's assuming things can actually rip. Some of those contracts got taken off over at 90 because it was chilling up here at 300 contracts, and now it's at 225. So someone took off about 75 contracts up at 90. I believe this has to fall down in order to really like get traders excited for an upward push. So if it does fall down to the EMA 50 here at like 85.50 or 85.25, I think, well, that makes a lot of sense too based off what Tiny was saying, because the previous close at 85.50. So if 85.50 was the previous close, we got through it, we'd actually want to see a pullback to about 85.50 as support and then a bounce off that. And I think that would really help solidify the upward momentum for the current moment until the rate decision comes out. I don't know if they'll bump rates anymore. It kind of feels like they're nearing the end of rate bumping. I know that there's a lot of disinflation. Disinflation is not the same as deflation. Disinflation is still inflation, but the prices are not going up as strong. So it's still inflating. Just so everyone understands what that means, because deflation would mean that prices are going down. Disinflation is prices are still going up, just not as much. Which I think is kind of corny to even make that distinction. I say corny because inflation and disinflation are basically the exact same thing. Inflation is worse than disinflation. Disinflation's still bad. Check this on the 10. Never really did get that pullback as much as I wanted to see. I was hoping to see a pullback to about 85 or even 86. Never really got it. 86.50 was the lowest it went, and then we popped up to 88. I'm looking for like one to two trades to not just to get green, but to walk away with a little bit of profit on the day, a little bit of semblance of profit. So I was really hoping to see this pull back to like 85.50 or whatever. We pulled back to 86.25 was the bottom of that pullback. And then we ended up popping up above the VWAP. This crossover was very close to being inbound. 85.58 and 86.25. About 67 cents apart, and the new one bumped to 86.25 and 85.70, so 55 cents. So we went up 14 cents. So we're looking at about 4 minutes or so for this breakout. For that crossover anyway. Jump on a book maps and see what the story is. Resistance along 89 and 90. Looks like buyers are sort of filling in. I would really love to see this thing pull back. I want to see it pull back to like the 200 moving average or the 9. I would actually say closer to the 9. Just the VWAP itself. We'll pull back to like 88 or maybe like just below the VWAP at like 87.25. I think that would look really good, but I don't know if we're going to get this. It's happened 89.75. ES is still down 7.25 on the day, $7. What does that FOMC thing? So like 11:30. We've just been pushing this Bollinger Band the whole way. By the way, if y'all chilling, hanging out, make sure you like and subscribe and ring that bell for noties. $90 still acting as resistance. I haven't been trading through this just because it's been this slow grind, and I've really been looking for a pullback that just doesn't seem to be happening. $90 filling in with some orders. There's a lot of resistance up at 93 as well, and some at 92 and a quarter. This has not been putting in pullbacks, dude. Come on. All I really wanted was for this to pull back to the VWAP and then join off that. Currently, we're very close to that crossover. We have probably 1 minute left for that cross to happen. So here is a pullback right before the cross. That's the 20-second chart. Pulling back on the crossover. No crossover yet. So I consider buying at like 88 and a quarter. Really just buying off the 9 EMA. A lot of sellers coming in there. About 400 or 500 contracts. Those look like they're going to get bought up. Yeah, I think we're probably going to see this break through 90.
Order filled.
Join the bid at 89.75. I'm looking for the breakthrough 90. Currently down 3 ticks on this. I absolutely purchased high. I was really looking for, genuinely what I was looking for a lot of that time was to be able to buy off of like the 9 moving average. And it just never really pulled back to it except for this one little instance. And that really was the trade. These kind of ran along it, but didn't flow with it. Intuitively speaking, and I felt really kind of funny about this trade. So I think I'm actually just gonna try to get out at 90, which will just be like a single tick. But intuitively, I don't feel great about this trade. So it might rip. I don't know. But if I get out with a single tick, then I'll be in the green on the day, and so I don't really mind. $90 has 200 contracts or so waiting at it. More showing up at 89.75. Heavy resistance showing up at 89.75. We're gonna need to see a lot of buyers pile in right now. So it tapped 90 for a brief moment.
Order filled.
So we got that, and we're green on the day, $15. Huzzah. But I don't feel comfortable trading up here at this level because of the resistance that continues to pile back in on 90. There's just very much been steady grinding up, and that feels like accumulation to me. And so if there's a lot of accumulation happening over this length of time, is there going to be a contract dump that takes place, pushes this thing back down to like 85 or 80, 87 or something? But grateful to be green on the day. Trailing max is at maximum at 2,500. We've been doing pretty decent with this challenge. Can't take another trade up here though. This level is just too grindy. Grindy at 90. 3 minute is TTM's at 4.5. It's a little high up there. And has resistance at 91. 5 minute. Did get a TTM push. That really was it right there. This last like 10 minutes. And that has resistance at 92.50. And Bookmaps itself has resistance more heavy at 92 through 93. But there is a fair amount of resistance here at 90 up to 91. Yes, this is Apex. It's been kind of a slow grind over the last like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We did 173 on Monday, 240 on Tuesday, and today $15. And almost 850 on Friday of last week. That's where we're at so far on the month. At an 85% accuracy on wins, 2% break even, 11% loss rate. We've only taken 4 losses and 29 wins. Average winning trade is only 87.50 because I ended up taking a lot of really tiny trades on Monday, like a lot of really tiny trades, and you can see today is kind of the same thing. I'm taking these really tiny trades. I prefer if I could take more like three contracts and 3 ticks is kind of like my minimum for preference. And sometimes I push that up to like 5 or 7 or even 12 on occasion. 12 is much less common these days. Used to get 12 tickers all the time, but not anymore. This literally looks like it's frozen. 45.89. Yeah, it's a 50K challenge in Apex. There's a link in the description, by the way, for that. We're up 1269.48. If you guys do decide to do challenges, either in Elite Trader Funding or Apex, you don't have to, but I appreciate it if you guys use the link in the description and the promo codes in the description. You guys get hooked up. We also get a little bit of a commission in terms of the channel itself. So so it does help support the growth of the channel. And you guys get hooked up too. So everybody wins. That's, by the way, as a point of philosophy, I don't like to deal in any sort of thing unless all parties have an opportunity to win. Now, obviously, markets don't work that way. Like, the trading itself doesn't work that way. But I believe in the concept of a win-win-win, which means it has to be a win for the customer, has to be a win for the company, and on both sides. So, like, it would need to be a win for Apex. Obviously, it is, because they designed their company that way. It would need to be a win for me, and it would need to be a win for you. And so, I don't like working with any other sort of type of situation besides that. Unless everybody wins, I don't know that I necessarily want to do it a lot of the time when it comes to deals. So, in the past, when we used to run an advertising company, that was one of the reasons why we had so many satisfied customers, because they knew that when they worked with us, they were going to get the best that we could possibly give them every time. So, I don't know. I'm just philosophizing today. You're on 50K challenge. By the way, good to see you here. I don't think I've ever seen you in the chat before. So welcome. Another 50K challenge. I'm at 49.3. Yeah, I mean, but you're only down 700. You can do this. How did I get that performance page again? Oh, I'll show you. So you just slide over here to the right. There's this thing called reports. You can click that, and then you can click any of these. I just clicked this month since I started this challenge this month, and that's how I can see. And then you can see all of your P&L history, your cumulative with fees, and then without fees as well. So you can know what your gross is, what your fees are, all of that. It does break things down, honestly, pretty well. And then it breaks down everything by trade. I will say it's not 100% accurate in terms of the only inconsistency that I've noticed that creates inaccuracies is when you average into a trade. Like, let's just say, for example, you bought at 85 and it goes down to 84, but you see really strong support, so you buy more at 84, and if you happen to sell some of those more that you bought at 84, and you have to sell them at 84.75 while your original trade is still there at 85, then it may count something as a loss, even though you actually sold, however many contracts you sold that were purchased at 84 and sold at 84.75. Well, it might count them as break even because of the averaging. But outside of that, it is pretty good. And I think that is because it doesn't go in a, I think it goes in a FIFO, not a LIFO. So FIFO would be first in, first out. LIFO would be last in, first out. And so LIFO, a lot of the times, actually allows you to retain more profit. It also allows you to reduce your tax liability as well. If I remember that correctly, I think I switched all of my stuff into LIFO when it came to my trading because of the tax liability. But I don't know that I have that choice here. Also, too, like, when you trade with a prop firm, you don't get the same tax benefits as if you had traded futures with your own capital. In that you're taxed more as like an independent contractor, which is great if you have like a certain corporation. Like if you're if your tax structure is set up as like an S corporation, then being billed as an independent contractor is awesome for your taxes. If you're set up as like a C corp, probably not nearly as nice. If you're a sole proprietorship, good luck, because that is the highest tax liability in the country. So you definitely don't want to be set up as a sole prop. And if you're paying as an individual, you're basically paying the same as a sole proprietorship. And so it is best in that regard to be able to set it up under a corporation. But it's not tax advice. I'm not your tax advisor. Please see your CPA. Also, too, in regards to any of this stuff, none of this is financial advice at all. Market doing nothing, dude. It's just, look at this. It's been doing nothing. Yep, just up chilling. Yeah, market ain't doing nothing right now, dude. Like at all. I wonder if oil ever got that breakout. You got to break down, not to break out. I ended up dropping below that level that we were trading it at. That oil trade really sucked. Without that oil trade, I think we'd be up about 385 on the day. So I was kind of hoping for a little bit more volatility here at 9 o'clock, especially with that crossover. But I don't think any of the volatility is really going to be here until 11, after the Fed decision on the rates and the Jerome Powell speech. So having said all that, I think I'm probably just going to walk away with my microscopic green on the day. Gosh, even yesterday was slow, and we did better than this. But yesterday it had some movement available. When there's just very little to trade, it's just very little to trade. So that's the last one. So currently up 1269, 48 in the account. That's nearish halfway. About 42% of the way to goal. And yeah, I think I'm done sitting around waiting. I don't really see this making much of a move between now and the Jay Powell speech. So yeah, FOMC today at 2 exactly. Yep. That's 11 o'clock my time here on the Pacific, in the Pacific Northwest. So also too, we also had the new home sales, but I don't think we have data for that. Well, I mean, it came out at 7, but I don't know if we have a link for it. Oh, we do now. Okay. So home sales dropped to 697. Sales of newly built homes lose some momentum in June. The coming home crisis, the housing recession, as I see it, is very much like the housing market is extremely frothy because there's a lot of unsold inventory that is beginning to stack up, which is a good thing, I think, in order to, number one, bring down prices, but number two, there's also a ton of inventory that was turned into rental properties that never got rented. And so these investors are making payments on these houses that are not being rented out, and a lot of them bought very high on the market, like really a lot after the momentum push happened, and so they're holding on to these houses with outsized pricing, and they're having to charge huge amounts of money for rent I've seen some houses renting for like $4,500 for a house. It's just not. It's just not practical, and I just don't think that the market has the capability to bear it. Because if you're asking someone to pay, let's just say $3,000, you're asking for 36K of somebody's annual budget, annual income. And if they make 55K in gross, then I mean, like, where you're asking for like two-thirds of their money um after taxes. And so it's just not feasible for most people, and I definitely not for most families as well. So I think that all of those are going to contribute to a flood of supply in the housing market. That that supply flood throughout the next year and a half, combined with uh, high interest rates, I think is going to make a lot of inventory sit on the market and begin to drive down prices. Frankly, I would rather buy a house that is cheaply priced at a higher interest rate than buy an expensive house at a low interest rate, personally. And the reason being is because I might be making that high rate payment right now for a couple of years, but there is still opportunity for those rates to come down at a later date and refinance. And at that point, I'm refinancing a significantly lower number than if I had bought a house for $200,000 more than what its actual real market value was for it. So, so right now we're at 697,000 houses sold. That's a downturn from 715. The forecast was 725. I don't know who was forecasting this to go up. Whoever it was should likely be fired because I've been the trend has been here for months, so I'm not really sure who thought this was gonna go up. But yeah, so downtrended as expected, and I think that's going to contribute to um the overall housing push and the economic push down to begin with. So we did actually pop up through 90 for a brief moment. Popped up to 91.75, which I think was, yeah, we had all that resistance at 92. So 91.75 makes sense. Through 92 though, a lot of it was cleared out up to 95. If you notice, there's not a lot of contracts standing between 92 and 95. But 92 in and of itself is where a huge amount of that resistance lies. There's 287 contracts waiting there on 292. A total of 1,100 contracts to get through in order to break through 92. I don't know that the buyers have that kind of ability left in them. I think buyers might be a little exhausted from the push up. So, having said all that, I could see potentially some pullbacks. If we look at the moving averages, probably pulling back to either VWAP or the EMA 35 or the EMA 50. I would say the EMA 50 is more likely, which is right there at $88.50. But I'm hungry and market's slow, so I'm thinking I'm gonna walk away with my little $15. Woohoo! Yeah. And tomorrow we'll try and make it be like 400. So, all right, y'all. I'm gonna jump into the Discord community. I'm gonna write my reflection and my results on the day. If you guys haven't read any of those, you can just scroll up in the community chat. That's where the reflections are and the results. Reflections being what it is that I thought about my trading, what I did right, what I did wrong, stuff like that. Things I can do to improve. Sometimes they're more in depth, sometimes they're just quick and to the point. So it just really depends on, number one, what I'm feeling. Number two, what I reflected on. Yeah, you too, Ollie. We'll see you Monday, actually. So I'll be back here on Monday, and I'll probably be coming like I'll be looking for a new playlist. So I might be looking to build out a new playlist over the weekend if I have the time to do it. So, all right, y'all. I'll see you in the Discord. Peace.